In fact, what's so attractive to me is someone who is sold out in their own purpose and their mission, and they're building something on their own without me. Welcome back to Get Outside today. My name is Dominic. This is episode 29. I don't need her. And if she needs me, guess what? I am out. I'm done, man. I'm done being needed. I'm done wanting to need anything else in this world but Jesus. But something that's eternal, something that lasts. Because everything in this world is fleeting. Here today, gone tomorrow. This life is but a grain of sand. I don't need her. I don't need it, whatever it is. Whatever that greener grass that you're chasing, I don't need it. Because we're going to water the grass where we're at in this episode. This is another episode in my series, Define Relationships. If you haven't yet, go listen to those other episodes. In fact, they're the top episodes of my podcast just in general. Those episodes, and then of course the first one, because I feel like when you start up someone's podcast, you start at the beginning. Those are my top episodes. They were good. They were heavy. They were quick hitting, deep. I shared a lot of my personal story, my best advice in not only dating, but family relationships, friendships. That's why it's called Define Relationships. So this is an extension of that. I don't need her. We've been taught that being needed equals value. It equals being valuable. But what if being needed is actually unhealthy? Being dependent on someone, on something of this earth, unhealthy. In this episode, we will cover why being needed is actually a red flag, even though that's what we look for is, right, in a relationship, is being needed. In fact, guys, no, this is a red flag. Why independence is so attractive. I'm going to share a little bit about my story growing up when I was younger, about chasing it, about needing it. Why everything in this world eventually at some point lets you down. And then figuring out, diving into what actually lasts. This one might step on some toes, might expose you a little bit, but that's the point of the podcast. If this is not your first episode, you know. You've been exposed, you've been challenged, you've cringed and awkwardly laughed a few times, as have I. That's the point of the podcast. I'm here to challenge. I'm not here to, applaud your victim mentality and cheer you on in these things. No, I'm here to challenge. I'm here to elevate, expose, helping you do better than I have in the past. A lot of these things come from just my history of experiencing these things. I'm not saying that I've done all these things perfectly. It's quite the opposite. I've failed in a lot of these things. So these are your warning signs. This is your warning light. On your front dashboard, get outside today. So the core idea here is that being needed, dating someone that needs you is in fact dating a project. A lot of times we confuse need with love. We confuse need with love. Dependence with connection. Listen, I've been in a lot of relationships where I was needed. Where I was literally needed to be their everything, their hope, their joy, their life. And I disappointed them. I was needed, I disappointed them. We've talked about this, about not being for everyone. I don't want to carry someone else's life. I'm not trying to be your emotional support human. Because sometimes I can barely even support myself. And that's where Duncan comes in. Dominic runs on Duncan. No, but healthy love is two whole people, not one person carrying the other. I've done a lot of caring in my life. And it's not fair to either person. I feel like a lot of times in my past, and I've seen this a lot with other people too, is that when we find this love, it's a sense of being needed. It's a sense of finally, oh, someone needs me. I feel like I have worth because I'm here for this person. I'm here to love this person. But the older I've gotten, the less attractive being needed is. In fact, what's so attractive to me is someone who is sold out in their own purpose and their mission, and they're building something on their own without me. I want to come into your life and you are already so just chasing after your passions, your dreams, your goals, your purpose, that I just come into your life as like a teammate, and then we run together. Not someone who's just stuck here, then I come into your life and they're expecting me to pull them out of that. What's so attractive to me is someone who is just sold out as an individual, as someone who's living their single life, not in a season of waiting, but someone who is present in today because they understand that the time keeps going. Time doesn't stop because, time's going to slow down for me because I'm just in this waiting season. I'm in this in between, hoping for my future spouse to be delivered to my front door. I think that is so unattractive in somebody. You meet someone and they're passionate about what they believe in, what they're working on. That's attractive. I don't care how successful they are, but they're chasing after something. They're disciplined in something, showing up for themselves. They're confident in who they are as an individual. Green light, green flag. They're confident. They have a sense of identity, and they're secure in who they are. They don't need me to affirm them in who they're trying to be. Of course, that's something that I love doing, is affirming people and championing people. But then that's just an added bonus for them. It's that when I come into their life, we elevate even more together. Someone who's needy, this neediness says, I need you to become something. It's again, dating someone's potential. Someone who's just down here and is needing something different. And up here, that's calling me to be something different, to help them become something different. But confidence says, I'm already something, and I am inviting you into it. I don't need her. I don't want to be needed. I want to be invited into something. I want to invite you into something. I feel like I'm like choreographing a dance. Right? If your whole personality becomes me, and my whole personality becomes you, we're both going to get bored real fast. We're going to experience burnout really fast. I'm going to let you down. You're going to let me down. Because we are imperfect human beings. That's just the reality of it. But relationship is choosing that person over and over again. It becomes a choice. And it helps when you don't need each other. Philippians 2:4. Don't look out only for your own interests, but take interest in others too. Notice how it was your own interests first and then others too, on top of your own. Someone else's life in identity and interests and affirmation and partnership comes second. Your own interests first. Pursue that. Chase after that. Grow that. Be so confident in that. Be passionate about that. Again, people who are so passionate about something and are working on something, even if it might feel silly, like my TikTok. Telling someone that I'm passionate about TikTok might sound silly, but I think that someone who is passionate about their TikTok and is driven in working hard towards something, that's attractive. It's more about the person and their discipline than it is about what they're passionate and working towards. I don't need her, and I don't need it. This goes beyond just her, him, relationships. It's it. I feel like we all have an it, whether it is a relationship or it's a job, money, success, fame, status, whatever that it is. Whatever greener grass is over there that you are trying to get to. We all have an it, or have had something that has been our identity in the past. And as we're chasing this greener grass, we sit around and think, oh, well, when I have it, then these things will change. Oh, when I get into a relationship, then I'll start going out and seeing the world and pursuing this life together. But you're missing out on so much time in between waiting for it. But who knows if it will even be a thing and become a reality. This fame, this success, this money, this relationship, those aren't even promised. But what are you doing about today? Being present in today. Water the grass where your feet are. It for me growing up was sports, specifically golf. I basically grew up kind of on the golf course. It was my thing. I loved it. It was unique. To me, I actually got made fun of a lot for playing golf growing up. I played all through middle school. I became one of the top players in my city. Played 3 years in high school. I played football my first year, got a bad concussion. Shouldn't have played football. My first year as a sophomore, I became the number one player on my team. And those 3 years, I was the number one player on my team, one of the top in the city, and decently at the top for the state. And it was like my everything. I mean, summer, it was day in, day out at the golf course. And it became like my identity. At my tournaments, I'd have photographers following me. I'd have my picture front page of the sports section in the newspaper. It was a big deal. It was Dominic and it was golf. And I wanted so badly to play college golf. All through high school, it was like this big prize, this big thing was college golf. Everyone who was in that scene just wanted it so bad. And I was working hard for it, and I didn't get any scholarships in Iowa, but I didn't want to stay in Iowa. I wanted to go to California. So after finishing 3 years of pretty solid high school golf, I went out to California, played on a junior college team, hoping to get a scholarship somewhere in California. I figured the best way for people to see me would be to be in California. So my first year at the junior college, I played pretty well. Ended up getting a scholarship to a small private school in LA. What a year. I was so excited. I'm getting this golf scholarship. I'm achieving my green grass. And I sucked. College golf was a whole different ballgame than high school. I didn't know the courses. I didn't know like the opponents. High school golf, I peaked in high school. High school golf was like my peak golf experience because you played with the kids from the other schools all summer. You played in those summer tournaments. You knew the guys. You knew their families. You knew the courses. It was fun. And then college, it became like a business, a job. I had to play well to earn my scholarship. There was a lot of pressure. Our tournaments were long. We would travel on Sunday, play 18-hole practice round Sunday, wake up early Monday, play 36 holes, no break in between, 2 rounds. They would literally golf cart our meals to us out on the course. We'd be eating while we're playing 36 holes. Exhausting, like 10 hours of golf. Next morning, wake up early, another 18 holes. And then we have to travel back home. And then we have to focus on all of our studies and everything else and trying to build a social life and trying to get out and do fun things in LA. And it just became so much. That green grass of college golf was actually burnt, toasted. And it hurt my ego a little bit. I was a little bit devastated of not playing well because I had worked so hard for this beautiful, lush green grass my whole life of college golf. Thankfully, I had a pretty decent view on the world and view on life, so it wasn't too distracting to me, but it was still my it all those years, and it let me down. If your it is something so big that it's literally your identity, when it fails, you will collapse. Mark 8:36. And what do you benefit if you gain the whole world but lose your own soul? I felt like I had gained the whole world. College golf, California, LA, living this life that I had dreamed of for so long. But it wasn't my deep down identity, and it just didn't last. What is your it? What are you putting all of your identity and hope for? What are you waiting for? I don't need her. I don't need it. Because you might not even get it. And when you do, it might not be as green as you think. I have come to a point in my life, it took me a while, where I've realized that I don't need the things of this world. Job titles, money, alcohol, relationship. Like, I've gotten to a point where if I'm going to be single for the rest of my life, I don't need her. Because I'm so excited about my purpose and my mission today. Day 2 of my 3 days, 3 hikes, 3 podcasts. I was out creating something so fun and beautiful. I had so much fun by myself today. I don't know why it's like a sad thing to say. It feels like I'm trying to justify, this deep down loneliness. And no, I genuinely got out and hiked, creating content, creating stories, flying my drone. That's a passion that I had to find on my own. I had to try something new to find that passion. If you're not passionate about something right now, go try something new. Go make something happen right now. Stop waiting for it. You have today. I'm not saying that the world is just bad and everything in the world is just bad. It's just not enough. Matthew 6:19. Don't store up treasures here on earth where moths eat them and rust destroys them and where thieves break in and steal. Store your treasures in heaven. Eternal. Something that goes beyond. Something that goes past you. That goes beyond you. On my hike today, I was actually thinking how cool that I'm creating content that will go beyond me. That will outlast me. It's kind of wild to think about. My podcast, the vlog. I don't know if TikTok will be a thing forever, if these social media platforms will be a thing forever, but I have a lot of content that will go past me and hopefully continue to encourage people when I'm gone. What legacy are you building? If everything in this life fades, which we know it does, we know that there is an endpoint to this life. We know that we die. At the end of this life, there's death. Hate to break it to you, Santa's not real. We know that. So what are you building your life on? Something that fades? Or something that actually has purpose? Not a person, not a title, not feelings, but Jesus. The hope of Jesus, the promise of Jesus, the hope and promise of heaven, of eternal life, eternal glory with the one who created you. So stop waiting and stop thinking, oh, when I get her, when I get that job, when I get there, wherever there is, it, her, him, that thing over there. And build your life now. Time is not slowing down just because you don't have it yet. Time is not slowing down just because you don't have it yet. And this whole excuse of a waiting season, I think, is BS. We wait for things to come to us. No, the opportunity will not present itself. You have to go be the opportunity. Insert yourself into your dreams. Make a life for yourself outside of someone else, outside of being needed. Be so passionate in your purpose and the things that you love and that make you come alive, so that someone else sees you and finds that attractive. Be someone who's so attractive in that. Get out, build, create, live. Not later, now. Do you feel a sense of urgency? There's some urgency with this message. Because bam, my 20s are gone. Just like that. Stamped. Forever done. What can you change today to change the trajectory to something beautiful, to something that has legacy? I don't want to be needed. I don't want her. I want to build something that lasts. I want to invite somebody into that. I want someone beside me who's doing the same. Because if it can be taken away, it was not meant to be your everything. So I finished season 5 of The Chosen over the weekend. And the last episode of season 5 really hit me. It's Thaddeus' reflection on the first day that he met Jesus, when Jesus called him. I want to just read the lines from this scene because it inspired me so much. Literally changed my life. Got me fired up to not need her, but to chase Jesus and to follow him. Again, this is from The Chosen. These are not my words. I'm going to skip over a few parts, but this is the main message, the main heart. I'll set the scene. Jesus is sitting with Thaddeus on their lunch break as they're building this building. So Thaddeus is a stonemason, and Jesus says that he lived in Egypt, and Thaddeus says, Egypt? a stonemason's wonderland, all the architecture. Jesus says, some of it will last. Thaddeus is a little bit confused. The wonders of Egypt, some of it will be there thousands of years from now. The finest stonemasonry eventually relent under the assault of weather, war, and time itself. This public amenity we're building, in a few thousand years, no one will ever know it existed. Thaddeus says, or that we existed. Jesus says, well. Jesus says, I'm also a rabbi. We are a pair of men building a privy in a small town in northern Galilee, in a tiny country under the occupation of the enormously powerful Roman Empire. Jesus scoots his chair closer, facing Thaddeus. But if I told you I have something else in mind for my life and yours, like what? Something that will last. A kingdom not built by hands. A fortress stronger than stone. Do you want to join me in helping build that? I don't understand what you're saying. I mean, you don't have the means or land or a home, and yet you're offering to hire me for my services, not the ones you're using today. Then what? I mean, I'm not good at anything else. That's what you think. That's what I know. Forgive my boldness, but I'm a little uncomfortable. Why is that? Because you don't know me. Yes, I do. We met half an hour ago. Join me. In doing what? I told you. Building a new kingdom. Just the two of us? No, but I have to start somewhere. And where better than here? And with who better than you? Look, I don't know what you're talking about, but you definitely can do a lot better than me. I have wages to collect for my labor. Leave me tonight. Final offer. You haven't made an offer. A new kingdom. Eternal value. What's the pay? The pay? Yes, the income, the daily rate, the housing arrangement. Well, you have that all worked out? There is no pay. At least not in the earthly sense. I'm a rabbi and I'm asking you to follow me. It was nice meeting you. You become part of changing the world. Become part of a family, not of relatives, but of blood bonds, just the same. You will see and do things you cannot imagine. You will be adored, hated, needed, lost, and found. You will live everywhere and nowhere. You will lose friends, all your friends, in your own life. You will go to the ends of the earth and yet be part of the beginning of the greatest movement on earth. People will say that you are a fool and that I was a fool and say that it was all a lie. They'll call us heretics and liars and frauds. Others will celebrate you and venerate your memory and call you a saint. That you hoped against hope. You believed against belief. That you surrendered everything. And you held fast to the very end. Will you follow me? Because if it can be taken away, it was never meant to be your everything. Jesus is forever. He's given us the Holy Spirit to live within us. He is eternal. Will you follow him? Will you make something of your life? Will you answer this call for more? Are you a little bit lost right now and not knowing where to go, what to do? You have so much love to give, yet you're not in a relationship. You're wanting so badly to be with her, but you know you just can't. She's not ready. You're not ready. You've had this history of heartbreak, of hard relationships, abuse. You've tried to go to drugs and alcohol, all these other things to fill this void in your heart that's missing, always hoping that the grass will be greener over there. And you sometimes get a taste of that grass, yet it's burnt. If it can be taken away, it was never meant to be your everything. Jesus has died on the cross to take all of that guilt and shame, all of that falling short, all of that void, to give you a purpose and a calling. Jesus is my it, my everything. This is your call. Will you answer the call even when you don't feel good enough? Jesus called the disciples when they were struggling with their identity, when they were struggling to make ends meet, They were poor. They were outcasts. Yet Jesus chose them. Chose a stonemasonry, a tax collector who was spit on, who had to be taken in the cart, hidden under a blanket to work. I don't know if that's true, if that's just in The Chosen. But you get what I'm saying. People that said you could do a lot better than me. And let me tell you, that's just not the truth. He's calling you right now in this moment. God, thank you for calling us. Thank you for calling me. Thank you for calling you. And you probably know you're being called, but it's time to step out into faith and follow him. Because you are so worth the 1% each and every day. And as every day, get outside today. Was it recording? Yes. Oh! I forgot to talk about my my drink today. This is my coffee. Day 2 of 3 days, 3 hikes, 3 podcasts. Finished the hike and the podcast today. Went to Chick-fil-A after my hike. I waited until lunch. I was in a lunch mood. I think there's more food at lunch. So literally 10:31 I was there. Mocha cream cold brew, guys. If you don't know about the mocha cream cold brew, woo-hoo. A little treat. I know I just talked about yesterday how you should be healthy and doing these things, but you know what? I'm consistent with a lot of other things. A treat here and there is okay. I don't need her. I had her. She needed me. I was needed. Unc said no. We done with that. Thanks for watching, guys. You're the best. Cheers.